and top tackler, top try scorer, and certainly getting his rewards. And I know Sean Wayne, the England coach, is here again tonight, casting an eye on things with Saints and Leeds to come later on. But Sam Powell has got to be in his thoughts for the World Cup next year, surely. Hardacre with the extras, the perfect start for Wigan. And the hangover, it seems, goes on for Salford. There is Sean Wayne, but Sam Powell with a cracker.
Well, he's twice within the opening 90 seconds. He's run from behind to play the ball. And the second one, he's got across for the first try. He's proved to be a threat around the middle. And at times, maybe he's just passed the ball, moved it on. And he's made sure that the Salford fans will have to be interested in him at every single play of the ball. And he's done that at the start of the match.
Well, Salford have been forced into making a very late change with Ollie Ashall-Bolt coming in at full-back. Niall Levels just failing a check before kick-off, hence the young man who's signed short-term at full-back in place of Evels. But at the moment, Wigan are just too quick, aren't they?
Look at that again. He's run again, Sam Powell. I think maybe there has been criticism of just passing and moving the ball on, but he's clearly tied Wigan, tied the Salford defenders into the middle of the field as we get to the end of this set.
Well, Salford haven't had their hands on the ball yet as Hastings puts up a high hanger. And, wow, the mistake. And it's a bad mistake from young Ashall-Bolt, and Salford are going to have to defend again.
Well, he would have wanted a good touch, the youngster. He is dynamic at the back, so strong as well, and when he goes up for that, he just can't quite take it in. He has put his side under some pressure here.
Well, 5 minutes on the clock, 6-0, and Wigan here looking to double their lead. Partington does well, but Wigan looking very hungry, just looking as if they mean business. They've had 2 weeks off. Hastings with a little pass from Luluai close to that try line. Jackson Hastings really is desperate defending now from Salford. Farrell at dummy half. Luluai for Singleton. Brad Singleton making his first start. Could be a big signing for Wigan in the weeks ahead with the playoffs to come. French with a little kick through, but this time just too much on that. And relief for Salford, who get their hands on the ball for the first time.
Well, he's got a lot of attributes, hasn't he? The fullback, Bevan French, just too much on that kick from them. And do you know what? Wigan will go into this game as favourites. And Salford have had the underdog tag for a number of years now, haven't they? Look at them back in, was it 2016? They found themselves in that £1 million game, the one-pointer from Gareth O'Brien. Then all of a sudden, within a couple of years, they're playing in a grand final, then a Challenge Cup. They seem to have to rebuild year on year, don't they?
That was a fierce tackle there from Singleton on Mossop. Brings a smile from the Salford captain. Yeah, a little doubt that Ian Watson's achievements over the last 12 or 18 months, no wonder he's on the radar of other top clubs in Super League. Contracted to Salford until the end of 2023, but Ian Watson having another brilliant season as a head coach of the Salford Red Devils. Here is Ashall-Bolt.
And Willie Ice, the man who's tackling him, did an awful lot of work with him when he was a young lad coming through the system at Widnes Academy.
Kick goes up from Atkin, but out on the full. A mistake, another mistake from Salford. It must be really difficult though when you play such a huge cup final. I know Phil and I were talking before, emotionally draining. And Ian Watson, speaking to him in the week, says not a bit of it. He said that we could turn this round. He said we are up for it.
Well, I don't think Phil lost in it in the Challenge Cup final, whereas I did. So I know what it's like the following game. You want to get out there, you want to play. There is so much motivation going on in between your ears. It is incredible.
You played, Terry, though, that you played the team who beat you at Wembley in your next game, didn't you? Sheffield away.
Yeah, they flogged them. So it's incredible. Do you know the mindset of a player when he plays? Salford need to work hard with the referee.
So to pick up on that point though, Stuart, maybe it's easier playing your next game if you've lost at Wembley. Perhaps you've got more motivation, but it's important they don't feel sorry for themselves, and they've got to work very hard here now, defending their own try line again, conceded a penalty. Wigan in a great position and do look primed.
Yeah, 7 minutes gone. They do look up for it. Singleton with the pass, and Luluai couldn't hang on to it. So that is a let-off for Salford without a doubt, because that offside penalty put them under real pressure. First mistake of this match from the Wigan Warriors. Second in the table, looking to really put the pressure on their arch rivals St Helens. There's the error. And of course, live on Sky Sports next Friday, it's Saints Wigan.
Nothing better than a derby, any derby, whether it's Saints, Wigan, Hull KR.
And of course, Saints coming up later on against Leeds, and they're in action again against Salford, live on Sky Sports on Monday in another double header. So for Saints, 3 games in a week, they will think if they win them all, they're in those playoffs. We shall see. Super League champs against the Challenge Cup winners coming up. Luluai with the tackle. Salford 10 yards inside their own half, but it was a knock-on, another mistake. And Elliot Keir really disappointed with that. I think it was a touch judge who gave the decision.
When we say knock-on though, surely the ball's been pulled out there. I can't see how it can be a knock-on, can it really? There's Luluai steals the ball.
Strips the ball. It felt like he was in a tug-of-war then, Elliot Keir. The Wigan players were dragging him one way. You had Christen who grabbing his foot, dragging him the other.
A little bit of luck, you feel, there for Wigan in that decision. Certainly looked as if the ball had been stolen. The early try after 2 minutes from Sam Powell, the goal from Hardacre. Let's have another look.
You can see here, look at him, they're just trying to manhandle him.
There's not a knock-on, whatever there is, there's not a knock-on.
No. So can Wigan cash in on their good fortune as Farrell makes the run through? Brilliant pass from Hastings. Luluai goes for the line. Stopped on the try line. Ashel Bott and Atkin with the tackle. Jackson Hastings now, French, and Hardacre now comes up with the error. It's picked up there by Inu trying to offload. Both teams now coming up with an error.
Well, that's a couple of chances now that Wigan have had down there Salford's line, and they failed to capitalise by making mistakes. Remember the Brad Singleton one, the tip onto Thomas Luluai when he goes through. And then Zach Hardacre catches that. Does he have the speed to go?
Well, Salford here would just be grateful to complete a set. Haven't done that yet as we approach 10 minutes. Wigan leading 6-0, second in the Super League table. Luke Yates for the Salford Red Devils. Joey Lussick. He'll be a big miss for Salford when he leaves at the end of the season to go back to the NRL to play the Parramatta Eels as Roberts is brought down. Lussick has been brilliant over the last couple of years, hasn't he, for Salford?
Throwing a lot of passes, but not really committing the Wigan defenders. 4 or 5 metres between that and any player who's going to tackle them. But here they get now to shift it to Lola here. The kick, again, not with the accuracy they needed.
Watkins manages to get hold of it, but there's nowhere, it seems, for Reece Williams to go. He's wrapped up by Burgess and by Hastings, and Wigan get it back.
That needs to be in the corner, needs to be dropped a metre from the try line instead of on the 20-metre line. Just made it so easy then for the Warriors. Not any real contest in the air.
Well, teams don't always get off to a flying start, but good ones manage to build their way back into the game, and that's what Salford have to do here now. But they can't contain the ground that Wigan are gaining every set. There's about 10 metres there by advanced by Liam Farrell.
Yeah, marked difference as well, isn't there, in the speed of the play of the ball. French now. Good tackle. Atkin in there with Greenwood. Luluai inside for Singleton, who certainly made his mark in the opening stages. Good signing he will prove to be, I'm sure. There goes the kick. Ashel Bott this time again makes the mistake. The ball goes backwards. He manages to recover. That two high-hanging, testing balls that the young fullback hasn't been able to hold, but this time he gets away with it.
I think he might be better staying on the ground for the next attempt, really. I think lifting the ground makes it a more difficult catch. I know that's what he's advised and coached to do. But until he rebuilds his confidence, you saw him shaking his head in the background there. He knows he's frustrated and disappointed. But on both occasions, he didn't need to leave the ground. There wasn't a Wigan player going to be above him.
Wigan have won 6 out of the last 8 in Super League, beaten by Hull KR, and arguably the shock of the season so far, and then that young Wigan side beaten in the first derby of the season by the Saints. As Lola here clears his lines. Easy takedown for Bevan French. And here is Burgess.
Even though it was an easy take, they needed the distance on that kick, which Lola here managed to get. But it's stopping these next 3 plays where Salford have really got to work hard before the likes of Sam Powell gets out, starts asking questions around the rucks, bringing the forwards onto the ball.
Well, only 6-0, 13 minutes gone, and I'm pretty sure Adrian Lamb will be disappointed with that, because Wigan really came out of the gates, didn't they? And only 1 try to show for all their dominance so far. Powell now. Well, that look forward. The referee says play on as Bullock bulldozes his way through. Can he offload? He can. Now it's with Hastings. Hastings eventually brought down in the tackle there by Ollie Roberts, but that looked forward.
It did. I agree with you, Stuart.
Powell
on the last play, Stuart, 6 again.
Well, they're going to get another set here as French wriggling his way out of the tackle, finally brought down. Another glorious opportunity for the Wigan Warriors. Partington, that close to the try line.
There you go. He called it, and that looked forward as well, didn't it?
Yeah, as he managed to get over.
Well, Brad Singleton's been offering himself. That's his 7th carry in the opening 14 minutes of this game.
On the line!
Salford here are sucking in the big ones. They're under some pressure.
Well, they are. Hastings, Bullock again. Powell is not going to get another one, is he, from acting half back? He may well have gone straight from dummy half. Has he got the ball down? Chris Kendall reckons he has. Terry O'Connor reckons he has. The man who will make the decision is the video ref, Robert Hicks. But is it 2 for Wigan and 2 for Powell?
Well, that's the threat wherever the ball is. And if Sam Powell is behind dummy half, and maybe you're not set, he's going to go, he's going to try and sting you. And you can see, as he's got the ball, does he lose it? Well, it certainly comes free. See, he doesn't maintain, he doesn't keep hold of the ball, but if there's any separation as he's putting the ball down, see, he loses it from the hand.
He lose control, Phil.
I think he's lost control of the ball. I wouldn't award the try, but my eyes might not be as good as the video referee. He thinks it's a try. He thinks the arm's in contact with the ball.
It may well be. It may well be in contact, and the elbow might be there. But for me, that's a knock-on.
Is it?
The video referee, he's looking for if there's separation here, right? And if there's no separation whatsoever, he's going to give the try. But for me, and most people watching at home,
if there is no separation, it is a try.
No, but you look at it, he loses the ball out of his grip. He loses the ball out of his grip. His elbow touches the down. That'll be a try, Phil. Do I think it should be a try? No.
Well, here is the decision from Robert Hicks. And the try is given. So Wigan, through 2 tries now from Sam Powell, extend their lead to 10 points to 0. There's been a controversy surrounding that decision, but the try is given.
Well, it's a try that we typically see Salford score. Their hooker, Joey Lussick, has scored so many of this occasion. People thought this was a forward pass. The 2 touches just didn't, and Joe Bullock went through. And in fact, Wigan was disappointed that they didn't score from that break. Salford recovered, but then aren't strong enough there on the line to hold Sam Powell up. They need to rapidly improve the technique there. He has gone low, Ashall Bolt, but he isn't strong enough here to cope with the power and that low leg drive from Sam Powell. This is going to be 12-0 here as this kick goes over.
I think what Terry might be saying, correct me if I'm wrong, is that anywhere else on the pitch, that's a knock-on.
Yeah.
But the try is given. See, the downward pressure seems to come with his elbow.
If that's 5 metres out and the ball looks like this to the referee, Chris Kendall, he'll be saying that he's lost possession. That's a knock-on. But because his elbows touch the ball down, obviously over the try line, that's why the fans at home are happy.
Also, the fact that the referee gave it as a try on the field, it's one of those, isn't it? If he'd given it as no try, would there have been enough evidence to overrule?
Well, it's called live sport, isn't it? The referee's got to make a live call. He's got to make it in 1 or 2 seconds, and he did so. I've not got a problem with that.
Nope, absolutely. Bottom line is Wigan lead by 12 points to nil, 16 minutes on the clock. And Salford, you feel I've got to get a foothold in this game and soon, because Wigan are dominating.
Well, they can't feel sorry for themselves. They can't dwell on that try, and neither can they dwell on a couple of calls that might have gone against them. Quick ball here to Joe Burgess.
Yeah, Burgess is away and he's got support inside if he needs it from Farrell, and it's going to be another Wigan try. No doubt about this one. Special try, spectacular try, finished off there by Liam Farrell, and Wigan now totally dominant as they bid to consolidate second place in the Super League. That was outstanding.
How good is Liam Farrell? Like last week against Warrington, he scored the match-winning try, and he got man of the match. Made 55 tackles, 55 big efforts in defence. You just look at him, he comes from behind the ruck, he's expecting the ball, he doesn't switch off, he supports up the middle. He's doing the job of really what fullbacks do, and he's just tracking around where the ball is and supporting Joe Burgess. Phenomenal athlete like he is. He knows that he's just got to keep on pushing really hard. Really nice touch as well from Oliver Gildart. Joe Burgess gets rid of Callum Watkins, interest Ollie Ashall-Bott, and Liam Farrell. Well, he has the pace to keep up with him, and he's got the 4 points.
Well, the Wigan fans celebrate. It wasn't it? It's a brilliant slip pass from Oliver Gildart to set up Burgess for the break. And we're coming up for 18 minutes on the clock, and Wigan are scoring at a point a minute. They lead by 18 points to nil, and the Wembley hangover appears to be getting worse for the Salford Red Devils.
Well, it's brilliant when we see teams attack from within their own half of the field, and Wigan have done that. They're not content to complete the sets and kick and chase and apply all that pressure rubbish. They want to score whenever they possibly can, and they've tasked their players to have the eyes to see the space. They saw the gap, and as you said, he pointed out tremendous fitness there from Liam Farrell to be in the right place at the right time.
So Liam Farrell with Wigan's third try to add to 2 for Sam Powell. The first time that Powell has scored 2 in a game, but he actually scored 2 in the first 15 minutes to give Wigan control.
I was surprised how quick Joe Burgess was going down the sideline with Callum Watkins chasing, couldn't get close to him.
Powell kicking early in the tackle count, looking for a 40-20. This time the easy take for the young fullback, Ashall-Bott for Salford, but 18-0 down. Already a long way back for Ian Watson's side, you feel.
And the man who kicked the ball was the first to tackle Ollie Ashall-Bott, Sam Powell. Look at them, they're finding it really difficult here. Everyone knows when you play against Wigan, they're really aggressive. That's why you need so many support players running up with you, carrying the ball is christening him. He's got to have support on the outside to just take the defender's eye off him.
Of course, one of the big things at the moment for Adrian Lamb and for Wigan is that they're getting all the big guys back, aren't they? They've added Brad Singleton, Tony Clubb is back on the bench, Ben Flowers back on the bench. George Burgess is only a week or so away from full fitness. So it's all coming right on the injury front as far as Wigan are concerned. And is that a rare mistake from Bevan French? It is, and now Salford with a chance. You feel if they're going to stay in this game, they have to take.
Well, let's see what Lola here can do, and Chris Atkin up this end of the field. Lola here would be the man who would call the plays for me. He's a fabulous talent.
Mossop
There's a struggle with it. Lee Mossop on the ground he's made. They get a penalty, but they're down to 12 men at the moment. If I'm right, got an issue in the background.
I think it's Ali Ashall Bot that's getting some attention from the physio.
And the referee, was going to stop play. He's holding his head. If that's the case, whatever happens, he would presumably have to go off for an assessment.
They were just checking out. He had I think it was early on this year, he had an operation on his back, and Ian Watson will be hoping that he's fine.
Well, he will, because if you look at his 4 substitutes, I think they've spent most of their careers playing in the forwards, not the backs.
And of course, they already lost Niall Evans just before the kick-off with a leg injury, which is why Ashall Bot was drafted in at the 11th hour.
And this is where he looks like he gets injured. It's a big shot from Sam Powell, and that was on the kick return from Sam Powell. When he kicked it long, Ashall Bot caught it, and you can see just a whiplash, the sheer intent in that collision.
You know, at half-time, Brian Kearney will show some stats, and then we'll look at the number of tackles both teams have made, but the quality and the effectiveness of Wigan's tackles are far higher than those of the Salford side at present.
So I think the reshuffle here, Stuart, I think that you'll have Lola here that may go to fullback.
Yep, maybe. Chris Ininu is another possibility. Yates for Tyrone McCarthy. 200th career appearance tonight for Tyrone McCarthy, including 18 caps for Ireland. Stellar career. Atkin now, ball inside for James Greenwood. He's going to come up against his brother Joe at some stage during this game, I'm sure, who's on the replacements bench for Wigan. Another set. And the Acker's on. Yeah, it's going to have to be a shift around. I just wonder whether Lola here has gone to full-back and Lussock has gone into the halves. That may well be the case. Jerry Lussock playing at half-back. Ackers goes on his own, looks for a willing runner. Luke Yates is always a willing runner. A Super League workaholic, Luke Yates. Lola here with a long pass out. Has Inu got the strength? No, he hasn't, and he's pushed into touch. Great defending there from Bibby and Hardacre. The best chance that Salford have had in this game so far comes to Nouts.
Well, any team that play against Salford will know how strong and how powerful Chris Ninu is so close to the line. We've saw him score a number of tries this year by just bumping players off, the ability to ride a tackle and carry players over the line. But that strong defence from Bibby and Hardacre and Thomas Luluai lending his weight. Just push him over the sideline.
Well, Wigan, of course, looking to close the gap on the Super League leaders and the Super League champions, St Helens. They're coming up against the Leeds Rhinos. 7:45 kick-off on Sky Sports Arena. Saints looking to extend their lead at the top. Saints involved on Monday against Salford at Headingley, and of course live on Sky Sports again next Friday, Saints against Wigan. And that will be a cracker, because one thing's for sure, Wigan won't have the kids out on that occasion. Club on the field for Wigan. Not played since lockdown, Tony Clubb. His first game in 8 months. Here's Gildart. Gildart looking for a way through. Does well, just couldn't get the ball out to his winger Burgess. But Wigan looking dangerous down that left-hand side. Not the best of kicks. Salford allowing it to bounce, and well, here just manages to get hold of it, doesn't he? On the bounce.
Look, again, this is where they are dangerous on the back of the kick, even though it wasn't a good one. Stuart, they like to control you down here. The line speed's very aggressive. They're nice and tight. They like to hit you in 3 and 4 players. You can see they hold you up before trying to take you to the ground. Just the size and the strength for Chris Ninu, they couldn't do it.
Tyrone McCarthy. Very, very difficult ask now, you feel, for Salford. Elliot Keir, nowhere to go. Hardacre in with the tackle once again.
And they just shift the ball, though. Chris Ninu carried it the previous time, and he wasn't set on the wing.
French taking it on the bounce, looking to run. But eventually runs in two instead. A couple of Salford defenders. But it's all going to be disjointed now, isn't it? The loss of the fullback, they've lost two fullbacks, and they lost Evans before. They've lost his replacement, Ashwell Bott.
No Sargentson as well.
Yep.
But the first thing they need to do, though, is, like Terry pointed out, match Wigan in the middle of the field here. And at present, they're incapable physically. The Wigan side are just rolling. Look how many bodies in white shirts are moving here at pace.
Good hands, Hardacre, but Inu just about manages to stop Zach Hardacre in his tracks. 18-0, Wigan dominating. 24 minutes gone here at the TW Stadium in St Helens. Powell, quick play the ball again. Hastings with a good little kick over the top, and Lower here positions himself well, takes the ball well. But Salford are starting all their sets, it seems, in this area, 10 or 15 yards from their own try line. They simply have nowhere to go at the moment.
Really difficult, and let me tell you, when you're a player and you're down there your own try line and you see the defensive line in front of you, you don't want a mistake. You're looking for a gap, you're looking for a weakness in the defensive line. Who can you get at? Greg Burke onto the field now with a carry behind the ruck, lands on his front, looking for that quick play of the ball.
They've got to keep believing Salford, haven't they? They only need one try to get to 18-16, and then the confidence would return to the team. They've got to hang on in here now in a difficult period. Lussick puts a high kick up. This is a test of the resilience which we've spoken about under Ian Watson.
French, always dangerous with ball in hand. Bibby, it's a lovely little sidestep from Bibby. He's got support inside, and no one will stop Bevan French strolling under the post for another wonderful Wigan try. Bevan French, try number 13 this season, but that was out of the top draw. Wigan with their fourth try extend their lead once again.
They're constantly trying to look to exploit space with the speed that they've got at the back. And it was the former Salford man in Jake Bibby that cut through from the pass from the try scorer. The man who set Super League license to come over from Parramatta, but the step beats Elliot Keir, and you just see the speed, the afterburners from Bevan French. He is a genuine star of the game. He's a player that most people and most fans, if you're not watching or supporting a team, you want to watch him, because he does get you on the edge of your seat. Look at him. He plays at a different level and a different speed. It's as though he's running in fast forward.
Well, speculation linking Bevan French with a return to Australia with Parramatta next year. That would be a big, big miss for the Wigan Warriors if that happened. Hardacre from right in front to make it 4 out of 4. A dominant Wigan performance. As shown by the scoreboard, 24 points to 0.
He's probably run about 100 metres to score this try, maybe a little more. By the time he catches the ball and then comes across field, he's maybe covered 30 then on this point, and then he makes another 70. And his ability to make repeated high-speed runs, you look, the Salford players are trying to chase, but they haven't got the fitness or the speed. It's not just about being quick, it's about being able to run repeatedly at a high speed, which he's done there to get them, because run players don't just run 3 or 4 times in a match, they run 30 or 40. And his ability to do it more often than his opponents, you can still see he's there breathing very heavily. He's worked very hard here now for almost half an hour with the ground he's covered.
It's also about the ability to read the game, isn't it? I think that just comes naturally.
Well, he reads the space, doesn't he? And he creates space for his opponents. That's why so many people, Jason Robinson, everybody else here now talks about Bevan French. He gets you excited, he makes you want to watch him when the ball's around him. I think Wigan realise with him, he's that sort of X-factor player who could turn a grand final, just as Jason Robinson did in the very first one back in '98. Very little between two of the best teams. You need a game breaker. Robinson was back then. Bevan French maybe this year.
Jason Robinson, our very special guest on Sky Sports this evening. We'll hear more from him and Brian and John at half-time. But yeah, it was interesting listening earlier on. Knock there to Oliver Gildart.
He just
went
gets
down
caught
awkwardly, didn't he?
Yeah, his left ankle just gets caught underneath Callum Watkins.
But listening to Jason Robinson saying that he would pay to watch Bevan French, so that says something, doesn't it?
And I'm sure Bevan French would have paid to watch Jason Robinson,
we
let me
all
tell
would.
you. In fact, I think he was telling a Porky there, I don't think Jason Robinson's ever paid to watch a rugby game. He just carries the little card in the wallet saying, I'm Jason Robinson.
There he is.
Obviously, John Wells has to pay to get in.
Two great wingers there.
Oh, well, yeah, just two.
You said that, Phil.
Move forward! We're here, go on. Turn it, good. Give time.
High kicker again, Lola here, the standing fullback takes it really, really well, but 12 minutes to half-time, 24-0 down.
It's relentless pressure, isn't it? You know, they get to the kick, they're finishing the sets well, they're putting the fullback under some pressure. They've done that from minute one. You look at the last 5 games that Salford have played, and they've won 3 of those by 8 points or less, or they've lost 2 by 2 points or less. They've never been behind by this
Brilliant
much.
play.
Now here's an opportunity. Williams with support if he needs it, tries to go round the fullback. Brilliant tackle again from Bevan French, just read the situation. Rhys Williams, who scored that marvellous try at Wembley in the cup final last week, and there's the error.
They're going to be offside though, it's a penalty. They're in scramble mode, Wigan, from that break in the middle of the field.
Joe Burgess worked very hard here to get in the eye line of Joey Lussick. He's come up with a mistake as a result of it. I think the number of Wigan defenders, brilliant play by Inu to release Williams, but there's a lot of white shirts getting back here to cover and prevent the first Salford try.
10 minutes to go to half-time. Here is Greenwood. Ackers a dummy half. Set restart again. Paulie, who scored a try at Wembley at the weekend. They go to that right-hand side. Lussick does well. That's a brilliant pass there from Lussick, and a terrific try as well from Callum Watkins. Salford are on the board. Joey Lussick having to play at half-back. Boy, he did a good job. And Callum Watkins with a fine try. Salford with a lifeline after half an hour.
Well, Callum Watkins playing for his hometown club. 3 years ago, we were talking about him as in the top 2 in the world for centres. He's gone to Salford. He wants to restart his career. You just look how he gets on the outside of Oliver Gildart. Normally a better defender than that. And he just gives him that big left-hand fend. Good play from Lussick, and you could see that Oliver Gildart was just having a little glance at what Lussick was doing. And the Salford fans, the first time they're on the board tonight, they'll be happy now. They'll be starting to believe that Ian Watson's men can start scoring some points themselves now.
Callum Watkins with his first Super League try for his new club, for his hometown club, and Inu off the touchline. So to try and reduce that deficit a little bit more. But what a pass that was from Lussick. I'm sure we'll get another look at that after the conversion attempt from Kristen Inu. Sweetly struck there by Inu. 24 points to 6 it is. Watkins with the try, but how about this from Lussick?
Well, Inu's the man who set it all up in his own half. He must be arguably the most talented winger in this competition because of what he can do. We've seen him kick from the sideline, we've seen him create his team, get them to the other end of the field, and then eventually that nice pass from Lussick invites Watkins to score and gives Salford some hope.
We talked about Wembley hangovers. Remarkably, the beaten Wembley finalists in each of the last 11 years has bounced back to win the very next game. It's a remarkable stat.
So those stats don't lie for getting you up for that next game.
Absolutely.
Like I said earlier, not performing on the big stage. You let yourselves down, everybody down. You want to get out there and play.
Well, Salford have got to go some to maintain that record.
Well, he lost the ball, or is it stolen here?
Stolen, so another chance. Smithies, Morgan Smithies, the guilty man.
Against the former Wigan man as well, Greg.
Yeah,
You can see as he's going down, just strips that ball in front of the referee. They don't find touch though.
That's it's criminal.
Yeah.
As far as the coaches are concerned, isn't it? You score a try, you get a penalty, you've got a great opportunity to go back to back, and then you come up with that error.
It is a cardinal sin. This is on your terms, you get it, and you've got to make a better effort. That looked like a lazy effort.
Yeah, Lussock.
Right. 6 again, and no more.
Another set for Wigan. Caught a glimpse there of young Ashel Bott, who has passed his assessment, his head assessment, so he will return to the field at some stage. But will he be coming back with Wigan further ahead, I should say. 24-6 it is. Flower gets up, and Powell and Luluai. Isa, good tackle from Chris Atkin. Hastings again, trying to pull the strings. Flower brought down right in front of those posts. Powell, I wonder if he was going to go for a hat-trick there, but decided against it. But he's getting closer. Sam Powell, 2 tries already for Wigan from acting halfback. Short pass to the left-hand side. Gildart goes for the line and push back right on the line. Salford survived. Good defence. Lower here. Lussock making up for his mistake. Watkins in there with the tackle. Gildart was very, very close, but it remains 24 points to 6. Wigan leading 6 minutes to half-time.
It wasn't just good defence, it was great defence, because they were outnumbered 3-2, and with 2 defenders did just about enough here to prevent Wigan scoring. Give them some hope here, and just put that 6 points on the board. They can go again here, but look how hard it is to clear their own 10-metre line. Even Inu can't get over it.
That was the ball that they needed, Phil. They needed a long ball to get as far away from that sideline as possible. Finding it really difficult, trapped in the corner.
Look at this. Only a couple of tackles left. Paulie with the charge, does well. Looking for the offload as always he is, but it is the last. Atkin with the kick downfield, and at this stage anywhere will do, but it goes straight into the arms of Bevan French, and French with a lovely dummy. Now that has he got the leg, sidestep. Oh, this is going to be one of the tries of the season from one of the players of the season. What a try! Take a bow, Bevan French, absolutely brilliant.
He is ridiculous. You know, as soon as he catches the ball, straight away, he's just scanning what's in front of him. He's looking for the forward. Maybe someone that might be a bit sluggish, running up on the kick chase, what they like. As soon as he gets the ball, he is in attack mode. Look, Chris Atkin just going for as much distance, like you said before, Stuart, that he can get. Get out of trouble as quick as you can. Unfortunately, when he gets this ball, he bounces across, looking to link up with Jake Bibby, isolates Greenwood, then all of a sudden he's got a 2-on-1, 2 defenders in front of him. He turns them inside out. He panics anybody who plays against him that you talk to. He panics them. Defenders say they need tight defenders either side of them. You can see Greenwood just can't get to him. The gap opens up between him and Elliot Kate. The little right foot, the little left foot, the little right foot again, and he just goes in. Great to watch.
Well, it was marvellous try from a terrific player, and Zach Hardacre with the easiest of conversion attempts, and Wigan hit 30 points to 6, 4 minutes to half-time. But this is absolutely brilliant, Phil.
Well, I watched a try score by Martin Fire playing for Widnes a few weeks ago, and the commentator John Helm talked about the S-line that Fire ran. Bevan French does the same, doesn't he? It is almost like an S that he comes up the pitch. But I think with 5 minutes to go to half-time, you're absolutely inviting trouble if you kick the ball long and have wide spaces between your defenders. That was almost a suicidal kick, really, I think, from Salford, though. There was no way they were going to end up with a simple tackle on the fullback. It was at the end of the first half, That wasn't the play they needed.
Well, they're going to get the ball back, are they, from a short kick-off picked up by Lussick. But I said in the commentary when the kick went off, it literally was a case of anywhere will do, because Wigan have pinned them back so close to their own line.
But maybe not in the vicinity of where Bevan French. It's like doing a drop goal from under your sticks and kicking straight to Alex Walmsley. Like, you just don't want to do it. You don't want to give them that galloping run-up while defenders are just trying to get up to them as quick as possible.
Nice play, nice play.
Lussick does well. Offload there. Yates, that was a fantastic tackle from who? Bevan French. Luke Yates looked as if he was going all the way through. Lower here with the kick forward. There was an obstruction there. There's a Wigan player down actually in back play.
Chris Ninu was calling for it over on the wing then. He had his hand up, couldn't see it. They've given a penalty away, just too eager.
You're about 7 metres offside.
Again, just not working with the referee. Chris Kendall said to him, you're 7 metres offside. What do you want me to do here, lads? Look.
Ask him, you run straight into him. There's no escape.
Bit of discipline. The ball goes a bit further out on the outside of where Jake Bibby was. Chris Ninu's in some space.
Tony Clubb. And the tap eventually by Zach Hardacre. You talk about certain players in the league who have that X factor. Bevan French is in that club without a shadow of a doubt. Joy to watch. Hastings, Gildar. Here is Powell. Yeah, looking forward to hearing what Jason Robinson has to say about Bevan French, because he's been one of the stars of the show. Luluai, they're threatening again just before half-time here. Just a case of survival now for Salford. Been really difficult, it seems, for the Red Devils to pick themselves up and get themselves going after Wembley, but they've been up against a very good opposition. Hastings with the kick forward and picked up well by Williams, and here is Tui lower here, but Wigan were going to get a penalty, I think. Was there obstruction there after the kick over from Hastings, or looks like
I think there was a
interference, wasn't there?
You can see, was it Callum Watkins that runs across the path of Oliver Gildart?
Yeah.
And that's what they've been picked up for, called by the touch judge. You can just see he collides with him then.
Wait, back.
So they got around about 25 seconds to survive. 30 points to 6. It's been a really impressive performance by the Wigan Warriors in this first half against the beaten Wembley finalists, who clearly suffering. Tony Clubb, one play left in this first half. The ball goes back to Tommy Luluai, and quick hands there. In the end, it comes to Williams. Williams will be brought down, but Wigan dominant in that first half. 2 tries in the first 15 minutes for Sam Powell, but Bevan French, the star of the show, with 2 brilliant tries. The second one just before half-time, a clear contender for try of the season. Ian Watson with a lot of work to do. Adrian Lamb will be very happy. So will Sam Powell, his first double for Wigan. And Wigan in control. They lead at half-time by 30 points to 6.
To 86 years young, no doubt, watching his beloved Wigan in action here and dominating Salford. Let's go back to our commentary team. Scoreline of 30 points to 6 in favour of the Warriors. It's Phil Clark, Terry O'Connor. Take it away, Stuart Pike.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. Salford have it all to do. Billy Boston, one of the greats.
Stay behind.
He remembers fondly his battles with Tom van Vollenhoven of St Helens in those Saints-Wigan derbies, and the big Saints-Wigan derby to come live on Sky Sports next Friday. But for now, Wigan wanting to get the job done. Obviously, 2 weeks off has helped since that courageous win over Warrington with that late try from Liam Farrell. The game against Catalan postponed. because of 3 players testing positive for COVID, but everyone fine, everyone back in training, and at this stage of the season you can see what 2 weeks off can do for a side.
And it certainly freshens them up. Players have been asked to do an awful lot. Don't forget they've been training since last October. Even though they have had a lockdown, they've still been having to do all the hard work behind the scenes, keep themselves in good form for when they returned.
Lolla here off the side of the boot. It bounces though kindly. Callum Watkins scored the only try, and they'll have another go, this time from Tui Lolla here. Bevan French with the good take, and Bevan French with ball in hand. Anything's possible, anything can happen, as we've seen already tonight.
Yeah, so dangerous, isn't it? And be interesting to hear what Ian Watson said at half-time and how he'll motivate his side here.
They've got to try and physically match Wigan, haven't they, to start with? Hitting Morgan Smith, you know, controlling this play of the ball and winning some dominance in that ruck area.
Talking to him in the week, you know, he was absolutely determined that Salford's season wouldn't just peter out after the Wembley loss, but it gets no easier for them, because they've got a place in Helens, haven't they, on Monday at Headingley. Another double-header on Sky Sports as Lulai puts up a testing kick, and Lolla here takes it well, and here is Kristen Inu for Salford. 30 points to 6 trailing. What can they do over the next 38 minutes or so?
The ball movement's been the key, hasn't it? If you look at the breaks they've made, it's by moving the ball rather than running through Wigan or running around them with speed. Made them exciting to watch at Wembley, although they didn't quite win. There was some good ball movement to set up some plays. And against the determined Wigan side, it'll look as though they've now got their eyes on that grand final. Is it Friday the 27th of November? That's not far off, just over a month away here. There's a determination, they can see the finish line and they want to be at it.
Ackers, here is Atkin looking for a way through, does well. The young man Atkin with the sidestep, French with the tackle, the offload there, and Lolla here it is, will go for the try. And that is a brilliant start to the second half. Atkin with the break, Lolla here with the try, and again, a glimmer for the Salford Red Devils.
Well, you can look back to the biggest comeback in Super League history. Stuart, that was 2012, and that involved Wigan against Hull KR when they were 26-0 down at half-time. Can Hull KR, through Chris Atkin and his teammates, post enough points to get the win here against the Warriors that were rampant in that first half, led by Bevan French. Chris Atkin going at the line, gets rid of Sam Powell, beats Tony Clubb, looks to go around Bevan French, but then keeps his calmness to offload the ball to Andy Ackers, who in turn gives it to Lolla here. And that has given the Salford fans something to cheer about. 5 weeks tonight, is it? The grand final. 5 weeks tonight, wow.
Incredible, isn't it? Well, Lolla here, of course, played in the grand final last year, as did Kristen Inu. Is it going to be another conversion? 30 points to 12. Give themselves some hope. That was some comeback, by the way, I remember that. Wigan and Hull Kingston Rovers. This would be a miracle comeback if Salford could get close from 30 points to 6 down. Inu, 10 yards in from touch. For the moment it left his boot. Brilliant kick from Kristen Inu. So 30 points to 12, something for Salford to hang on to. I wonder what Ian Watson said to his players at half-time, and indeed Adrian Lamb. Jenna Brooks has the answers.
Well, Stuart, Adrian Lamb very happy with the first half, and why wouldn't he be? They led 30-6 at the break, which was their biggest half-time score of the season. Ian Watson didn't have a lot to say, just that his team was soft in defence, something that they need to get right this second half. No doubt he'll be very pleased with how they've started this second 40.
Thanks, Jenna. Yeah, they needed to score first, they have, and it must be very, very difficult. I mean, you've been in this situation, both of you, I'm sure, when you go in at half-time trailing by so much. What's the psyche? How do you get yourselves going?
I think you ignore the scoreboard. That's what you try to do, don't you? Whether you're in front or you're behind, and you try and play to the best of your ability. They've played more aggressively Salford, maybe they were feeling sorry for themselves at the start of the match, but they couldn't match Wigan. Now we get excited to see that ball move, which I think makes Salford A, entertaining to watch, and B, has had some success, but again the referee or the touchers just said that was a forward pass.
Well, that's what you call a preempted play from Paulie. The pass wasn't on. Like Paulie, if he has a man in front of him, you just pick him out and run it. He's a man mountain. But that's because you've tipped it on with the man next to you. You've said, right, come with me, I'm going to do a little tip on, and you've gone through with the play.
I'm sure one of the things Ian Watson would have said is error-free. You've got to be error-free to give yourselves a chance, and that mistake gives Wigan terrific field position inside the Salford half. 30 points to 12. Wigan, of course, looking to consolidate second place in the Super League table. Hastings, Isa, brilliant ball, brilliant try. Well, that was fantastic hands from the Wigan Warriors. Jackson Hastings touches down under the post. The mistake from Paulie. And 30 seconds later, with some wonderful handling, Wigan get another try.
Well, all comes about from the mistake from Paulie. Jackson Hastings and his team, well, they don't need an invitation to the line. It just wasn't on to Tyrone McCarthy. He had Willie Ison and Tony Clubb in front of him. And when Wigan set up this attacking shape, you just have a look at Jackson Hastings' late retreat. Thomas Luluwai goes at the line. He's got a man inside and out. Gives the ball on to Willie Ison, who offloads the ball. And it's just all about the numbers, all about the movement around the ball carrier. So clinical. You can see what
well, doesn't it? To get this pass backwards when your body's facing that way at that angle. The referee maybe just had a question in his mind whether the ball had gone forward. It didn't interfere though. And this is a pretty amazing game here. We've had 8 tries, all 8 converted. We're rising with no maths here.
Hardacre makes it 6 from 6. Hastings with the try, and it was just wonderful to watch. Off the cuff.
Hastings sets off behind the play of the ball, then he's got that extra man. Salford and the black shirts know they're outnumbered, and that final pass there was an interesting one. Hastings caught it with his right hand, which was probably slightly behind his body. Just did enough to ensure it was a legitimate pass. And normal service resumed for those Wigan fans.
Okay, Chris.
Well, you get back in the game, Salford, and then you make the mistake and you're punished, and that really has been the story of the game. Every mistake that Salford have made during this game, they've been punished.
Well, you capitalise on those mistakes, don't you, and that field position where you are. And Paulie now involved, trying to just dominate Morgan Smithies, control them, slow it down as much as they can.
Still only 30, you know, and approaching 300 games. We will notch up 300 games for Wigan next year. Very much a contender for Man of Steel, Liam Farrell. The match winner against Warrington, already a try tonight.
Are you sure you got your stats right then? 30, is that all he is?
That's all he is.
He looks a bit older than that.
Great kick.
I think the difference with Wigan here tonight in what we've seen, Terry, is the power that they've had in the middle of the field. I think the last time I saw them play on this ground was in the Cup against Leeds, and they were completely outgunned in the middle of the field. Now, with Clubb returning, Flower returning, maybe older players, they managed to find that aggression again, that dominance. You saw the meters that they made in the first half. The kick from Thomas Luluwai is just taking them into the opponent's half, but that power in the middle of the field, you know, playing in there, the meter eater that you were, really, you've got to gain ground in the centre of the field.
Well, that's what they seem to play off, that's what they thrive off, whether they're running with the ball or whether they're defending. They really are an aggressive side.
Still to come, of course, here tonight. Big game, the leaders at St Helens against the Challenge Cup winners, Leeds. There is Richard Agar. What a wonderful job he has done since taking charge of Leeds. 7:45 Sky Sports Arena. You have me double guessing there, Terry. I've double checked it. 2nd of July 1990. It's 30 years of age. Liam Farrell.
Looking to get that ball out.
Did well in the end. Atkin brings in Elliot Keir. Another offload. McCarthy. Well,
Well, they've got nothing to
They may as
lose.
well go for it.
Yeah, they've got absolutely nothing to lose. 4 converted tries behind on the scoreboard. 30 minutes to go.
There's the kick from Ollie Roberts, would you believe?
Why didn't he chase it? He's kicked it
And stopped.
and watched about 5 metres away from where he was. If you're not going to chase your own kicks, well, I hope if you got that any of your colleagues will. He ends up, look, he stopped.
I think he was
As if he-
admiring it, Phil.
Did you think he was offside?
I think he was a bit surprised he had to kick. Here is Farrell. Hastings again, and here comes Wigan. French, beautiful hands from French, and Gildart races away for the try in the corner. For the moment, Wigan are making it very easy. It's going to be sent upstairs. Chris Kendall will say a try. Robert Hicks will adjudicate.
It looked as though one of his feet may have hit the sideline, but perhaps after he grounded the ball at full speed, it was hard to tell from here, Terry, but I can understand why they've checked this here. The foot slides towards the side. Does he keep it up before the ball does? Yes, he does. Just about. Probably a frame. 20th of a second. A good finish. And again, just how hot is Bevan French?
Yeah, there is the try. 7th try for Wigan, 1st try for Oliver Gildart, back after a 3-match absence. All smiles from the man of the moment. What a match Bevan French has had.
Well, you're trying to solve all the problems in defence. When you've got Wigan coming at you at speed, you can see how straight. When Jackson Hastings takes that ball, he straightens up, and he really does isolate defenders, so they've got to plant the feet as though he is the threat. You can see Joey Lussick going for the dummy runner. Then that creates the space for Bevan French, and he doesn't need space to use his speed. He gets through, gives it to Gildart, and good effort, like Phil said, just to keep his feet up and not go into touch.
6 out of 6 with the boot for Zach Hardacre. This by far his most difficult attempt of the night. No joy on this occasion, but 2 brilliant Wigan tries in this second half from Hastings and Gildart. Bevan French involved in both, and Wigan lead by 40 points to 12.
Well, they've got the power in the middle and the panache out wide here now to complement, and the pace and precision of the passes have been brilliant, and they've scored on most of the breaks they've made. Turning your chances into tries is what will take teams to the grand final. Wigan know that. They've enough experience of being there or thereabouts, and they know they couldn't create enough chances when they played in the Challenge Cup semi-final against Leeds. If they get to a playoff, which is a semi-final in this competition, that kick's gone too far.
It has.
And they have to take and churn.
This time from Kristen Inu.
His foot's over the sideline as he catches the ball, so that's deemed to have gone straight out of play. Penalty back on the halfway line to Wigan.
Well, Adrian Lamb, during the week, he was asked about his future, of course, because he hasn't got a contract at the moment for next year. He said that he is hoping to sit down over the next week or so to discuss 2021 on a rolling contract. I reckon it would be a big surprise if Adrian Lamb isn't in charge of Wigan next year.
Yeah, he'd be really surprised if he's not there, Stuart. I totally agree with you. And then the other one, the biggest challenge for Salford really is going forward, is not losing any star players. It's keeping hold of their coach, Ian Watson.
We mentioned in the first half, going to be much sought after, isn't he? Ian Watson on contract to 2023, but what a fantastic job that man has done for the Salford Red Devils over the last 4 or 5 years. But at the moment inside, they're staring at a heavy defeat. The week after the disappointment of losing a dramatic Challenge Cup final at Wembley. Powell now, and Hastings has come much more into this game in the second half. Luluai with the offload, Hardacre with the diagonal run. Hardacre goes for the line, just can't get the ball down. Lifted up that right arm, but couldn't plonk it down. Luluai switches play again. Flower just short. Powell again, and swing the ball to this left-hand side. A little kick through, and well taken there by Rhys Williams. Greenwood with the tackle. A little bit of help from Oliver Gildart. 40 points to 12. It's been a really dominant Wigan performance right from the off, hasn't it? They were up and at it from the first kickoff.
You think Adrian Lam now, they'll use this as a test. They've clearly won the game with the score as it is, but what's the concentration, application like, you know, in the last 25 minutes? Can they still play at that same intensity? Because whoever they meet in the grand final, St Helens or one of the other top 4 sides, they'll have to play, you would imagine, for an 80-minute effort if they want to win the bigger prize.
Here is Bevan French. Little slip. As we mentioned, 1 or 2 Wigan players who are not sure that they're going to be there next year, and of course it's going to be yet another rebuild, isn't it, for Ian Watson? As it seems to be every year, if he's still at Salford. Eccles to Castleford, Dodson to Catalan, Flanagan retiring.
Well, the biggest problem that you would have as a coach, if none of the players wanted you, was that you weren't picking the right players in the first place.
Yeah, we're going to really stretch in Salford, aren't they? It's going to be a tough 20 minutes plus here, dragging them from one side to the other, opening the spaces between defenders.
Oh, Inu with the mistake. Hardaker picks up the loose ball. Can he get the ball out for Bibby? He can, but Wigan now again that close to the try line.
Struggle with Wigan's kicking game, Salford tonight.
And a set restart. Yeah, they just haven't been able to cope with those high kicks, have they? Morgan Smithies, quick play the ball. Powell in for Farrell, and Farrell goes over for his second try. 2 for Powell, 2 for Farrell, 2 for French, 1 for Gildart. 44 points to 12, and it really has been that easy for the Wigan Warriors tonight.
It was far too quick, come off the back of Chris Ninu's error when he tried to go up and get the high ball, and he was under pressure in the corner. You can see he can just feel Zach Hardaker around him. They don't score on this play, but just look how good Sam Powell is. As he's running in to the play of the ball then, he just has a little look over his shoulder. Who's going to be defending on the left-hand side? Tyrone McCarthy comes in to try and snuff out any threat from Powell and opens up the gap, and Liam Farrell, well, he just strolls through.
And that is now Wigan's highest score of the season. They scored 42 in victory over the Huddersfield Giants earlier on before lockdown, but they're looking for 50 and more tonight. Damage limitation for Ian Watson and for Salford. But as far as points are concerned, Wigan's best performance of 2020. Hardaker no trouble, 46 points to 12. It gets better for Wigan, it gets worse for Salford.
Well, there's been a variety, hasn't there? 2 styles, you say, of the tries that Wigan have scored. Long-range, spectacular efforts with the speed, or the short-range punches that Powell started, and then he's complemented there with his teammate. And I guess being able to score when you get close to your opponent's try line is sometimes an underestimated skill there. There's some real intelligence, isn't there, with the timing of the pass, the movement of the players into the hole. And without really having a hand laid on them, they've got 18 points without relative having to do too much.
The Wigan.
Oh, his problem here, he's out cold straight away. You can always tell when a player suffers. I think it's Mark Flanagan. When he goes in here, he sets, he tries to get a shot on Ben Flower and just rocks backward. And as soon as he just left the contact, you knew that he was out cold.
Yeah. Went down straight away. And this worrying again for the Salford Red Devils, and a little consoling pat there from Ben Flower.
Well, that's the respect that players have for each other. And again, Ben Flower was the man who picked out Flanagan. Flanagan was the man who came off second best, and then the apology from him. And the doctor and physio just take enough time now just to make sure that Matt Flanagan's okay and can continue in this game. Obviously, announced he's retiring at the end of the year. What a servant he has been. Started his career at Wigan as a youngster. Well, you can see, look, he's out on his feet.
Yeah. I don't think we'll be seeing too much more of Mark Flanagan tonight. Ben Flower was most concerned, but yeah, very dazed. Another blow for Salford.
They've had some bad luck this week, haven't they? They lost at Wembley by a point. They lost the fullback before the game. They've lost one during the game, and now Mark Flanagan has to walk off. We won't see him again in the next 20 minutes. We might not see him again for a few weeks.
Well, I know for a fact, you know, that Ian Watson didn't really want to play Mark Flanagan in this game. He was hoping to give him a rest, give one or two more players a rest, but needs must, and he hasn't got the biggest squad, so Flanagan had to play, and certainly we wouldn't be seeing Mark Flanagan against his former club Saints on Monday.
And you know, most players, if they're asked the question, do you want to rest or do you want to play, they put their hands up and say, no, I want to play.
So Wigan now looking for 50, and they've still got 22 minutes to go. Now Jackson Hastings come alive in the second half, hasn't he? Of course, the team that he was a real star for in 2019. Here is Hastings with the kick. Taken well by Lola here. Is it fair to say that Hastings hasn't hit the heights this year as he did?
I think so. I agree, Stuart. He did an interview himself, didn't he, where he thought he's played as well, if not better. You know, quality touches rather than the quantity that we saw from him last year. But he hasn't stood out, has he, in this match or many others since the lockdown that we saw last season from him. I guess maybe there's more balance to the Wigan team than there was at Salford last year. There was so much centred around him.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was the man. He was one of the few at Wigan for sure. Still a very, very good player though, Jackson Hastings, and you'd want him in your team if you're chasing grand final success, which Wigan of course are very much in that race. Burke brought down. Ackers now for Lussick, and Paulie. Power and strength still going.
He's just giving them all a piggyback.
3, 4 of them hanging off Paulie. Can Salford make it count? No, they can't. Possession lost. Yates tried to get the ball out. Luluai pounces on it. An hour gone. 46 points to 12. Wigan in total control.
Absolutely. And Luke Yates just had to try and get rid of that ball to someone behind him. Again, the ruck's too quick. You can see the meters that Oliver Gildart's making there, looking back behind there, play the ball, trying to spot some space. Again, Gildart looking around that play the ball, picking out some of the tired players.
On halfway, here is Hastings. Greenwood. Powell again, Wigan's top tackler with Farrell, 28 apiece, and Luluai. Hastings looking to try and slip the ball inside, caught in two minds, taken by Krishnan Inu. 19 minutes to go. Yeah, just looking at Wigan's remaining games, Saints, Huddersfield, Leeds and Hull, and maybe Catalan, if that game can still be rearranged. So you're thinking 3 wins for Wigan, and that should be enough to see him in the top 4.
They want to just make sure that they keep playing well, determined fashion. And Adrian Lamb knows that the sights are firmly set on reaching that grand final at Hull on the 27th of November.
You've got to hope that your best players don't catch the COVID-19 virus, haven't you, as well? That's another thing, really, which even for the team at the top, St Helens, is possibly the biggest thing that they need to worry about right now, because they've been so dominant as a side in Super League. That could derail them.
Kid again has looked lively for Salford tonight. Lower here with the kick to nothing, really. Good positioning again from Bevan French. 18 minutes to go, 46 points to 12. And the question is as well, because of time or lack of time, lack of dates, whether that Catalan game can actually be played.
There's a lot of work for some people out there behind the scenes in administrative capacity to try and juggle the fixtures and get all the games on in a safe manner. Every team has to play a minimum of 15 games only to qualify at the end of the season. They're sure to be in the top 4.
Win percentage deciding the season. Singleton back on for Wigan. He's made a big impression tonight, hasn't he, Terry?
Yeah, carried the ball strongly in his first stint.
Well, that's a lucky bounce, picked up by French here. Will chip the ball over to the corner for Burgess. Oh, the juggle, the tumble, the dive, the drop. The chance is gone. And a real let-off there for Salford.
Well, no wonder he's hot property, Bevan French. He can do everything. It's not just about speed and beating defenders, but comes up with a nice little death kick there. Joe Burgess, the line in front of him, just couldn't take that in.
You know, more than anything, this game's about entertaining, and Bevan French entertains. I think that's it in a summary, isn't it? Disappointed that they've missed what would have been a spectacular try. It would have really looked good at the end of the season on the highlights of plays that they've pulled off. That instinctive attacking play that Bevan French does better than most.
Kerr does well for Salford. McCarthy. Mossop, the captain. Of course, Lee Mossop, his 250th appearance in the British game tonight. Lee Mossop made over 160 appearances for Wigan, didn't he? That's where he made his name, Mossop. Yates close to the line. Ackers at dummy half. Looking for some more consolation. Atkin with a little kick through, and too much on the kick. And there'll be a 7-tackle set for Wigan on their own 20. 16 minutes to go, 46 points to 12.
I wonder whether, rather than making 7 tackles, if you had that restart on the 30 and kept it at 6, the sport would be far easier to explain to people. Why, you know, rather than having 7, it would achieve the same thing, but maybe the rule makers had a different reason for doing that.
Hardacre. Luluai. Willie Isa.
They're not getting forward now. They look tired around the ruck area. Look at them getting over the advanced line so easy.
Farrell for Greenwood, looking for the offload, thinks better of it. The danger man, Bevan French at dummy half. Hastings inside for French again, little bit of pace, electric. What a try from Bevan French. What a hat-trick from Bevan French. Wigan hit for 50 points. And that X-factor, Bevan French, does it yet again.
Well, that clip of Adrian Lamb just shows how relaxed he is in this game now. He can start to enjoy it for the last 15 minutes. When you've got a player like Bevan French, again, look at him, he's just behind the play the ball. He comes on a drop-off ball to Jackson Hastings. And Jackson Hastings is one of those players as well who attracts attention from defenders because he's carried the ball more than any other player in Super League. He will take defensive lines on. And I tell you what, so will the number 6. For Wigan, look at that.
Bevan French played here in the Challenge Cup semi-final against Leeds, and we saw none of this, nothing at all like this. It was cold, it was wet, the pitch was heavy. I wonder whether Bevan French needs a dry surface. I mean, will the weather determine how Wigan do in the playoffs and possibly the grand final? Does he need a fast-track surface to show the brilliance of those feet?
Well, it's just been a joy to watch, hasn't he? Second hat-trick for Wigan.
I wonder if Sean Wayne will be making his way to the changing room, see if he qualifies to play for this country.
Hardacre extends the lead to 52 points to 12.
Well, his first try was midway through the first half. I think it was a 70-metre effort in that. And then the second was a similar. That took him to 36 just before half-time break here. And he's just got better and better. And as players tire here now, he's going to become even more dangerous. Accelerates quicker than anybody else around him. It was an unfair race, that. There's only ever going to be one winner.
An important weekend at the top of Super League, a huge weekend down under with the grand final double. The women's grand final, Brisbane against the Roosters, Sunday, just after 5 a.m. on Arena and Sky Sports Mix. And then the big one, Penrith against Melbourne. 8:30 kickoff. We're on the air at 8:25, again on Sky Sports Arena and Sky Sports Mix. The NRL grand final.
10 seconds.
Salford get the ball back, but all too little, too late. The countdown continues to the Super League Grand Final, confirmed, of course, this week at the KCOM Stadium in Hull on Friday, November the 27th, with an 8 o'clock kickoff. Will Wigan be there? Will St Helens be there? Will Leeds be there? Saints and Leeds still to come on Friday night Super League here on Sky Sports. Atkins now for Salford. Atkin had a decent game. Young Chris Atkin getting over the disappointment of being left out of the Wembley 17. Atkins didn't play because he was cut-tied. Lower here, long pass for Callum Watkins. No way through. Gildart in there with the tackle. I'm sure Ian Watson will be very, very disappointed with the performance his side has come up with tonight. In many ways, possibly not surprising after the Wembley disappointment, but he will say, I'm sure, not good enough. French clears it.
Well, he certainly won't try and dress it up.
No,
They've been beaten.
Well beaten.
By the better side. From minute one, there was some real intent by the way they come out. They scored in the second minute, third minute through Sam Powell and Ian Watson. It'll be an honest interview with him after the game, I'm sure, with Jenna Brooks.
Then he's got to turn it around for Monday night, hasn't he? To take on Saints at Headingley.
Well, the games are coming thick and fast now to get those games in before we get to that grand final and the playoffs.
Just confirmation from Jenna, by the way, pitch side, that Mark Flanagan, after that clash with Ben Flower, accidental clash, has failed his head assessment. He'll be playing no further part and unlikely to be playing on Monday against St Helens either. 11 minutes to go. It's been a virtuoso Wigan performance. The charge from Mossop. Ackers again. Switch play. And no joy. Wigan keen on defence. Hastings right up in the face as Lola here. Look for Watkins. Watkins just can't get there. Scored Salford's first try, but Callum Watkins on the last, and that will be a turnover. But fair play to Salford. They're still giving it a go.
Well, trying to use his class, trying to use his footwork. Joey Lussick trying to use his strength with the initial tackle, trying to dislodge the ball and restrict those meters, but they're finding it really difficult. Done an awful lot of work defensively. Missed 23 tackles, I start to say.
Lussick, who's played a lot of this game in the halves because of the switch and the injury, still the man who's made the most tackles in the entire game. 41 tackles from Joey Lussick tonight.
It's incredible effort, that, isn't it, from the man who's got to guide you around the field and not stop talking when you've got the ball, trying to organise plays.
Crutcher from Paulie, and Zach Hardacre felt that.
Sort of lost the shape a little, Wigan, didn't they? They went to one side and then tried coming back to the other. I guess when you've got a 40-point lead with 10 minutes to go, it's understandable. Well, he gets hit.
You can see when Andy Ackers is pulling him back and he sees Paulie. He tries to get down as quick as possible. Tries to curl up in a ball and just self-preservation mode.
It was like he could see exactly what was coming. Hardacre okay, though. Lola here takes it well.
You know, you've pointed out, Stuart, a few times the tackles that Bevan French has made to save tries, stop Salford when they made breaks. He was down there again, first to make the chase on that tackle. Salford make another mistake, Wigan get the ball. His all-round effort, if you track where he's been on the field, has been pretty impressive. I don't want to put you under any pressure, Terry, on who you might pick as man of the match, but I think the Wigan fullback's been pretty impressive.
I think it's you that's picking man of the match, Phil. I think you've given it away there with, what, 9 minutes to go? Talking about trying to put me under pressure, he's put himself under pressure now.
Putting himself under pressure. It is you, Phil. It's your choice.
I'm not saying he's awarded it yet. It's still there.
Sam Powell's giving him a run, Liam Farrell's giving him a run, but the player has been magnificent at the back, Bevan French.
Well, I think if our guest Jason Robinson was picking man of the match, there'd be no doubt whether he would go for him, because all day long he's been the man. If this was the first game of rugby league you'd ever watched, the one name you'd remember at the end of it would be Bevan French.
But unanimous in the commentary box as well. Been a joy to watch. Powell, who's had another fantastic game. Sam Powell. What an outstanding season he's had. What an outstanding couple of years. A mistake from Bullock, so Salford get it back, all getting a touch scrappy with 8 minutes to go, and Wigan coasting at 52 points to 12.
They'd just be desperate to finish well. The final 8 minutes, 2 disappointing weeks for them.
9 tries for Wigan. Some spectacular efforts as well. Salford were, you know, looking for their first Super League double over Wigan since 1997. I think that was put to bed within the first 20 minutes.
It was a season when Terry led the Wigan side out, wasn't it?
Well, just looking back, you know, when Salford did that over Wigan in 1997, Ian Watson, the coach, was playing for Salford. Andy Gregory was the coach.
Yeah.
Terry O'Connor was suffering the odd defeat.
I was suffering with something that day.
Yeah, high tackle penalty to Salford. Apologies straight away from Morgan Smithies, and a set restart as well. Can Salford get a third try? Callum Watkins and Tui Lolohea scoring for the Red Devils so far. Here is Lolohea.
They're trying to take on his good mate Jackson Hastings.
Yeah.
Then he gets
no joy
hammered into
Joey
touch.
Lussick.
You know, the best mates, them two, and look at the way that they deal with each other. He just throws him into the floor, doesn't even apologise to him.
Didn't even look at him.
No, didn't even talk to him.
He's claiming Lussick's released the ball, hasn't he, before he's gone out of play. That was his defence to the his proposition to the touch judge. He wasn't in possession when he went over the sideline, but the officials say, no, this is the element here, isn't it, of the game, that we're trying to speed it up and then we slow it down. Sounds like a Bucks Fizz record.
One of the pleasing things, I think, for Adrian Lamb, though, tonight will be the fact that Clubb is back and Flower is back and Singleton is playing well, and of course Burgess is to come back. Maybe Burgess will be back for the big derby against Saints in a week's time, and Adrian Lamb saying in the week, no substitute for experience when you get to this stage of the season.
And
he's bang on, isn't he?
Any good side need competition for places.
I don't really agree with you there, Stuart. I think people like Liam Byrne, Ethan Havard are as good, if not better, than Brad Singleton. So I don't know whether all the players are always necessarily better ones. And
well, of course, there's Ethan Havard as well.
Yeah, like Phil said, Liam Byrne. But the point is competition for places is what you need. And Adrian Lamb will be looking at his side and looking at who's fit and who's not, and he wants to pick the best side that he thinks will do the job.
Of course, Sean O'Loughlin to come back as well. 5 minutes to go. Salford not able to come back and produce the goods after their Wembley disappointment. Lussick will keep on going to the end. 42 tackles, Joey Lussick.
I think Lee Mossop as well, he's took this result personal. Played 165 times for Wigan. Every time he's carried the ball, he really has tried to bust. Here you go, look at that. He makes it look so easy. The ball comes down, a little step.
15 tries now this season for Bevan French in all competitions.
Look at this. Luke Yates thinks he has him. He's a decent defender, Luke Yates. Really nice, another strong carry at Chris Atkins.
Well, you won't be surprised to know that Bevan French leads the league for tackle bursts and clean breaks.
Not after watching tonight, for the fans who watch Super League on Sky Sports, they won't be surprised at all if it's the first time they've watched him as well.
Well, they're looking to finish with a flourish. No way through for Bevan French there.
Good kick. It's a really good kick, isn't it? I mean,
just takes the fizz out of it, doesn't it? Just runs the clock down. I think Jackson Hastings has, in the second half, has really stepped up. I think he's been excellent.
And this kick really is not about like just slowing the game down. This is for when you're playing games like in tighter games at the end of the year. Managing that game, slowing the game down, stepping up, controlling it.
No shot clock, boys. As soon as he gets onside, we're good to go.
41 games for Salford. Man of steel. Guided Salford to the grand final. Now very much hoping to play a big part in taking Wigan to the Super League grand final in this truncated 2020 season.
from memory, when Hastings played for Salford, he tended to be typically on the left-hand side. He had Josh Jones outside him, and they were outstanding down that flank. I think for Wigan, he's played a little bit both left and right, hasn't he? He's linked round to the other side. He'll get a chance to get his hands on the ball here again now as Salford come up with another error.
Yeah, Salford tired without a shadow of a doubt. I think they've just run out of petrol, haven't they?
You wonder how many teams practice playing the ball, don't you? I mean, it's probably the most important aspect of the game, but when they get fatigued, you know, so many errors. We see so many mistakes, fumbles at the play of the ball, incorrect play of the balls.
It's all about speed, isn't it, for players to try and get up and play it quickly.
But maybe that obsession with playing it too quickly.
Joe Bullock does well. Powell again directing things from dummy half. Hastings with a little kick through, and who's first to it? But Oliver Gildart, he joins the party with his second try. And Wigan now have 10 tries on the night as they extend their lead to 56 points to 12. A little bit of magic from Jackson Hastings, and well read by Oliver Gildart.
Well, a ruthless performance from Adrian Lamb's side, capitalising on the errors close to Salford's line. And again, you just look at the movement, Jackson Hastings around the back, calling the plays. Nice little kick through for Oliver Gildart. And they just have so many players that want to play, want to attack. And Oliver Gildart, another quality effort from the man that's been missed when he's been missing over on the left-hand side. Really has got a decent relationship with his winger, knows how to score, knows how to create those tries.
Well, Zakharek looking for his 9th successful kick of the evening. And if he gets it, it will equal his best ever with the boot. He kicked 9, would you believe, for Leeds against Salford. And here he is looking to make it 9 out of 10 with the boot tonight. And there it is, lovely kick. It's 58 points to 12 with a minute to go. Gildart's second try. What a performance it's been.
Well, I was fascinated to listen to John Wells before the game when Brian asked him who he thought would win, and he thought the Salford side would be too strong for Wigan. I couldn't quite see where he was seeing that dominance really from this Salford team, and they've been completely blown away really now with Wigan. I mean, that's as emphatic a result as you'll see.
By far their best performance in terms of point scoring. I think Adrian Lamb will possibly say their best performance came in their last game against Warrington when they courageously ground out that victory with Farrell's late try. 58 points to 12 kind of tells its own story. A brilliant hat-trick for Bevan French. 2 tries apiece for Sam Powell, Liam Farrell and Oliver Gildart. 9 out of 10 with the boot from Zakharek. And Salford just couldn't back it up, could they? Little chip forward from Hastings, taken well by Krishnaninu. But the seconds ticking away, 20 seconds to go, and Wigan doing what they needed to do. A big performance, a big win, putting the pressure on the Super League champions and Super League leaders St Helens, who are coming up in a little while. Saints, of course, against the Leeds Rhinos, and there is the final hooter to bring to an end a sizzling Wigan display. Adrian Lamb will be absolutely thrilled. 3 tries for the absolutely outstanding Bevan French, 2 apiece for Powell, for Farrell and for Gildart, and much to muse about for Ian Watson, who hasn't got long to try and get his troops going, because they play live on Sky Sports on Monday night against St Helens. But tonight it's all about Wigan, it's all about Bevan French, and it's all about consolidating second place in Super League. 58 points to 12, Wigan convincing winners over the Salford Red Devils.
Yes, thanks very much, Stuart, Terry and Phil. Jason Robinson, a performance that Wigan Warriors can be proud of, going up against the Salford side, who they were expected to beat. They were ruthless in the nature of their victory today, which will please them most.
Yeah, I think Adrian Lamb will be really pleased with that. From the first minute, they came out the blocks, scored an early try.